We're joined by Marty Murray of the Brandon Wheat Kings. Marty, as we speak right now, we're just on the precipice here of the preseason for you guys. Just give me a sense of how camp has gone, what the energy is like, and how excited everybody is for another season of Wheat Kings hockey.
Well, we're real excited. I think the off season. There's a lot of things that need to be done, but the real reason we're here is to play hockey. So to get back on the ice for training camp was very exciting for us, and now we're one day away from our first preseason game. So a lot of excitement. I've been pleased with the effort. Driven by our veterans throughout the whole camp, and I think that kind of bled into the new players coming into camp. And I've been impressed with the intensity and compete level so far.
I mean, you came in midway through the season last year, Marty. So I guess in terms of being able to prepare for a camp, being able to prepare for a full season, just maybe share with me just, how much kind of more time you've had to kind of get ready for a season and knowing kind of the group that you're working with to some extent, at least.
Yeah, we have a pretty large number of returning players, so obviously you get to know them a lot from last year, and I think that gives a little bit of a head start. But again, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. You have to introduce the new guys to systems in a short period of time, but we're gonna keep pushing every day and try to give them as much information as long as we don't overload them. But at the end of the day, especially early on in preseason, we just want to go out and have them play their game and kind of establish an identity for our hockey club.
Let's circle back to the end of June, the NHL draft in Nashville, and a pretty fruitful one for the Wheat Kings, right? Nate Danielson, 9th overall. Carson Bjarnason goes to the Flyers, and then Brett Hyland, an interesting story, a 7th rounder to the Washington Capitals. Just in terms of organizational success, I mean, that had to be something that you guys as a group were happy to see with respect to your guys kind of being recognized by NHL clubs. But just take me through just how happy you are for those guys to be recognized.
Yeah, just real proud of those guys. They're all great human beings. They exemplify what we want our players to be, both on and off the ice. And to hear their names called on draft day was a big deal. Nate going 9th overall to Detroit was pretty neat to see. A top 10 draft pick. That's nice to have in our organization for sure, and in the Western Hockey League as well. And Carson had an exceptional year last year, and a second round pick to Philly is huge. And then Brett, he's a guy that you root for him, right? He works his tail off every day, and he's been passed over in the draft a couple of occasions, and then for him to get rewarded for his hard work is kind of what it's all about, right? You ask kids to work hard every day, and Brett certainly does that, and to see him get rewarded for his hard work was very satisfying.
Yeah, I spoke to him earlier this summer, and just kind of he shared the story about how he really wasn't expecting anything, and then all of a sudden his phone started ringing while he was, I think, working out. But this is a guy as well, like you mentioned, he'd been passed over a couple of times, but also he missed time due to injury last season as well, right? And I just, maybe if you could just share your thoughts on just the determination that he has, and what that kind of attitude will bring as a 20-year-old player now to your group.
Well, he just has that never give up mentality, and he had a tough go last year with injury. He was having a great year for us, and I think it was right after the trade deadline when he injured his knee and required surgery. And in true Brett fashion, he's worked really hard to get back to top form, and hasn't skipped a beat. And just being around our guys in training camp, we talked about setting the tone early and what we want our hockey club to look like. Brett's one of those guys that we look to, for the young players to follow, and match his work ethic every day.
Share your thoughts on Nate Danielson's leadership qualities.
Yeah, he's an exceptional young man. He comes from a great family. I think that he is one of those guys that leads by example. But I think you could see him grow throughout the year. And I thought, especially in the last half of the year, he kind of, took charge of the room, where he, would stand up and say things. And I think he's one of those guys who just kind of commands that respect around the room. When he talks, people listen, and he's just a great human being that leads by example every day. And obviously, he's had a lot of success on the ice, and he's a great guy to lead our hockey club.
over the summer, obviously the NHL draft, Marty, wasn't the only space in kind of national, international media where the Wheat Kings were recognized. The Holinka Gretzky Cup overseas, two of your players, Roger McQueen and Charlie Ellick, were part of that gold medal winning squad. As far as the international recognition, the international success, but also, how much can that tournament maybe serve as a bit of a kickstart for those guys, to come into camp, come into the start of the season with a little bit of momentum under their belts.
No question, and you can honestly see it, in their second year coming into training camp. I think playing in the Holinka will give those guys a huge confidence boost coming into the 2023-24 season. As we all know, it's a great honor to put on the Team Canada jersey, and for those guys to go over there and win a gold medal and play significant roles. I think that'll will reap rewards here moving forward for the Wheat Kings.
My last one for you, Marty, is about your new import forward, Dominic Peter. And, we obviously haven't had a chance to see him play live yet, but we've kind of seen snippets on social media over the past days and weeks about just what he might be able to bring to the table. But, without perhaps setting kind of lofty expectations for the kid, I'd love to hear your thoughts on, just how he's settling in and what makes him a special player that could be a big part of your group.
Yeah, you never know, with the European draft, you try to do as much homework as you can. And it's a different style of hockey, right, over in North America. I felt it as a player when I went over to Europe. There's a big adjustment as in the playing style. And I thought he's adjusted really well. And, the first thing I think that stands out for us when you see him on the ice is his hockey sense is elite. He can make plays. He's kind of long and lanky. And we've been really impressed. I think he's gotten better every day. And our guys have done a really good job of welcoming him and, getting him acclimated to a new culture and a new city. I think it's even been a quicker process than we thought. And obviously you don't want to put too much pressure on him early, but I think he's going to be a real good player in our lineup for us this year.